So do you recognise this? It's the Royal Yacht Britannia. For more than 40 years it served as a home from home for Her Majesty the Queen and her family. It's now docked in Edinburgh, and it was in Scotland just a few days ago that the Queen became the longest reigning British monarch when she came to reopen the Scottish Borders railway line. So on today's Songs of Praise, we celebrate the Queen's remarkable 63 years.
Hello.
I meet historian Kate Williams, who explains why the Queen is more popular than ever, and royal photographer Arthur Edwards talks about the special moments he's captured on camera.
If I sang, "And darling, darling," you know exactly what song it was, right? But would you know that the song draws its inspiration from a gospel song?
And I've come to the Isle of Wight to meet Vincent Uzoma, the Bradford teacher stabbed by one of his own students.
I'd always pray to God to touch this boy's heart.
We have some great music for you, and we begin with a hymn that couldn't be more appropriate on board ship. It's a great favourite with seafarers, and it's also the official hymn of Her Majesty's Armed Forces. On the 16th of April 1953, at the beginning of her reign, Her Majesty the Queen launched the Royal Yacht Britannia. Over the next 44 years, the ship would take the Queen and her family on hundreds of state tours around the world, as well as on their annual summer holiday visiting the Scottish Islands. The yacht holds many happy memories for the Queen, so it was a sad day for her in 1997 when the ship was decommissioned and she had to say goodbye to Britannia. Since then, the yacht has welcomed millions of visitors, and it's now one of Edinburgh's top tourist attractions. The Queen said this was the one place that she could truly relax, and you can see why. This is her favourite room. It's the Sun Lounge, and it's intimate, it's simply furnished. It's lovely. On board, it really is as if time has stood still. All the clocks are stopped at the moment the Queen disembarked for the last time. The Queen and Prince Philip chose the interior decor themselves for the yacht, and you get a real sense here of the Queen's personal taste. Kate Williams has written a biography of the Queen, and she came to meet me on board. Nice to meet you. This is a real window, isn't it, on the Queen's world?
It really is fascinating because this is her office, of course, where she did all her state papers every day, even on holidays. So you really get a sense of someone who's both a private individual and the monarch, and a sense of someone who's never off duty.
I wondered whether I could go through a little of Monday's programme, ma'am. We've got the yacht alongside at 9:15.
Kate, why does it matter that the Queen is the longest serving monarch?
The fact she's been here so long has given people a real something to hold on to, a sense of endurance, a sense of things not changing. In fact, when Britain has changed more than it perhaps ever has before. Elizabeth was never expected to be Queen. The abdication of her uncle Edward VIII catapulted her into this new world. Her father was now king. She seemed to be first in line to the throne. So it was a huge change for her to experience at the age of 10.
And she seems to have had a calm confidence that she was doing what she was meant to be doing in life.
It does very much come from her faith. It really comes from the idea that God has chosen her to do this role and only God can take it away. It's not about what she wants, it's about service. It's about serving the monarchy, serving the country, serving the government and also serving the church.
And the key to her success has been political neutrality, hasn't it?
She doesn't interfere. She advises, she counsels, she warns. And one very important example of her diplomatic role is the relationship with South Africa, because in the terrible times of apartheid, she had to stay neutral. And then that meant that when it was a new, equal South Africa, she could really embrace that, and she invited Nelson Mandela on board the yacht, and it really symbolised how Britain and South Africa could move together in harmony.
How does she do it, Kate? How on earth does she do it at 89?
Well, I follow her quite a lot as part of my role as a royal commentator, and I'm not quite 90, and I find it exhausting to do the level of standing and walking around. It's non-stop. It is good health, it is good genes, it is the importance of routine. It's also the fact that she sees herself as serving the nation, as serving her faith and serving God.
The grandest room aboard the yacht is the state dining room. This is quite something.
This was where all the heads of states would have dined here, also many famous leaders from around the world.
What else was it used for, though? Because it wasn't just dining, was it?
No, it was used for their church services. The dining table would have been moved away. The Duke of Edinburgh, he would have provided a reading. The Admiral would have conducted the service, and everyone, including the crew and the royal household, would have been invited, duties permitting, to attend.
Maybe our next hymn was sung in this very room. It was written in the 18th century by John Newton after his ship was caught in a storm and nearly sank. This one's popular with congregations and performers, and it's sung here by
by G4.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Through many dangers, toils and snares, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe this far, and grace will lead us home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost,